Mechanical keyboards are great, and giving that same typing experience to all different keyboards is awesome, and that's exactly what Vissles has done with their brand new release of the LP85. This keyboard is currently on Kickstarter right now, so if you want to check it out, it's going to be linked in the description down below. So this keyboard is clearly geared toward Mac users because it completely mimics the design of a Magic Keyboard and is supposed to replace it. This is a 75% low-profile mechanical keyboard, which has access to your function keys, full-size arrow keys, and even extra secondary keys on the right. This keyboard has a housing made out of aluminum that's just 3mm taller than a Magic Keyboard, has low-profile optical switches and keycaps, Bluetooth connectivity, and wired USB-C support. The design of this keyboard is great, and why wouldn't it be? We've seen this design for years and years on the Magic Keyboard, and there's nothing wrong with it. And just like a Magic Keyboard, this keyboard is available with black keycaps like on this one right here, or white keycaps, but they are not interchangeable. This isn't a regular mechanical keyboard, so you can't just take off the keycaps and replace them with other ones. In fact, Vissles actually recommends you not to take off the keycaps in case it gets loose. So taking a look at the keycaps, they're quite similar to the original Magic Keyboard keys, and by using a guitar pick, you can lift up the keycap to show the switches underneath. These switches have a 55-gram actuation, a 1.2mm actuation distance, and a 2.5mm bottom out distance. And when we press down slowly, you can actually see when the switch actuates. And these keys have a good amount of travel, making it more satisfying to type on than the extremely low travel distance of the Apple keys. The LP85 uses optical switches, which are laser-based for faster actuations, but this keyboard uses clicky optical switches. When I was initially checking out the LP85, I was intrigued by it because it had a similar design to a Magic Keyboard, and it also had optical switches. So I assumed the switches were going to be linear for that faster actuation, or used non-clicky tactile switches similar to the Magic Keyboard. But when I got the box in the mail, pressed my fingers down on the keyboard, and realized that the switches were clicky, I was questioning why Vissles would put clicky switches on a keyboard meant to be an alternative to the Magic Keyboard. But in the defense of Vissles, using a clicky keyboard is a very unique experience, especially if you're someone who's never tried anything other than a membrane keyboard and a laptop keyboard. And for the most part, when people buy their first mechanical keyboards, including myself, the switch is usually clicky because the change is so drastic. You're going from very mushy and silent keys to a very audible and tactile typing experience, and at this point, you really love typing because it's a whole different experience to you. But this explanation only works well with full-size keyboards and not so much keyboards that are supposed to be a better version of a Magic Keyboard. I'm not a Magic Keyboard user, but I feel like the people who do use it on a daily basis, whether they're in the office or at home, would prefer a more silent typing experience, something similar to some low-profile Gateron Brown switches. But that's just me, because as you can tell, clicky switches are no longer my cup of tea. Other notable features is that this keyboard does have Bluetooth connectivity of up to 3 devices at the exact same time, so you can connect your Mac, your iPhone, and iPad all at the same time with the click of 2 buttons. And this keyboard also has some really vivid RGB backlighting. Thanks to the centered RGB and the wide font, the RGB backlighting on this keyboard really pops off even in direct light. You get 19 different effects to choose from, featuring wave effects, rainfall effects, and even reactive effects. And of course, you can change each effect to a single color according to your preferences. And of course, this keyboard is Windows compatible, but I doubt a Windows user is going to be choosing the LP85 over all the other options on the market. As for the pricing, the LP85 has an MSRP of $140, but currently has an early bird price of $100, while the Magic Keyboard is also $100. And considering all the benefits that you're getting with the LP85, I think it's a great alternative if you're looking for something similar to a Magic Keyboard. So now let's move on to the sound test. First, I'm going to let you guys listen to the clicky switches of the LP85, then I'm going to add some snippets of the Keychron K7 and its optical brown switches, so you guys can listen to what a non-clicky tactile switch sounds like, as well as some linear switches on the Newfie Air 75, so you guys know what linear switches sound like. Let's go. So now that you've heard the sound test, you can now make an informed decision of whether you want to buy the LP85 or not, or choose another option which has different kinds of switches in it. And if the LP85 is not your cup of tea, I've got two great alternatives. We've got the Keychron K3 and the Newfie Air 75. Both of these keyboards are 75% low-profile mechanical keyboards with 100% Mac and Windows compatibility. It has RGB, Bluetooth connectivity of up to 3 devices at once, and it also has hot swap ability as well as different switches to choose from, and you can check out the reviews up above. Overall, this is a very good keyboard to consider as an alternative to a Magic Keyboard. The build quality is there, the design is simple and clean, the RGB lighting is really nice, the typing experience is very satisfying, the Bluetooth connectivity is great for multitasking, and the price point is pretty decent. But that's been it. Let me know what you guys think about the LP85, because I'm clearly a little biased when it comes to clicky switches in a keyboard, but you guys have a different perspective and I would love to hear it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.